right, cheers.
Cheers.
But this is a good one. This is like a little winey.
A little bit.
Yeah, like I feel like it's got a little like fruity white wine taste to it.
Yeah, it's very sweet.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, so this is a small bottle.
Yeah.
This was given by one of our fans. I don't know if I'm allowed to say her name, but her name starts with Chi and ends in Hihiro. Hihiro, not Hiro. So we'll see. But thank you very much, Chihiro, for getting this. This is very nice. This has like the rice that they use is Hida Homade, which I've never heard about before. But I need to get a bigger bottle of this.
Yeah, I could drink this again.
Yeah. So we'll be finishing this, and then we'll go get our cheap bullshit one that we bought.
Just because it's 7-Eleven doesn't mean it's like cheap crap wine.
Yeah, we were kind of
sake.
We were in a bit of a rush. Let me top you off.
So I mean, I look. Okay, I like the expensive stuff, but honestly, I can't tell a huge difference between the cheap and expensive stuff.
Yeah. Okay, so I mean, hey, you know what? That's a blessing, not a curse.
Because I like Boss coffee.
Yes. Yeah. We've talked about this before. But Austin, what are we talking about today? Do you remember?
I don't remember which one we decided to start with.
Amasa, do you remember the topic we're talking about?
Oh, okay. Arthur forgot too. I don't feel as bad now.
Okay. I remember now. We're going to talk about why Americans party so much. Not just the dance parties that you see on teen dramas.
No,
but yeah.
No, like this is a topic that I think we picked this like 3 or 4 months ago.
Yeah.
But we haven't like, I think some things have like beat it out on the polls, and then like recently like finally there was enough interest. And I wanted to talk about this because recently I've seen like a compilation video of gender reveal parties.
Oh, really? Okay. Dude, what's a gender reveal party?
Okay, so basically, like in America, these parties are really popular, and people like to keep it a secret what the gender of the baby is going to be. Like, so you have a couple that's having a baby, and they know the gender of the baby, but the family doesn't know. And so what they'll do is they'll host a gender reveal party, and I'll describe a really basic one. And then we can go into like we can go into some of the like the more crazy ones. Like a basic gender reveal party is they'll invite like all the family and friends over, and then there'll be like a lot of pink and blue balloons to represent boy and girl. And then usually like at some point in the party, the wife will pop one of the balloons.
Yeah. And
it'll have like either pink or blue glitter, depending on what the gender of the baby is, right? And so it's a big surprise, and after that, like people like celebrate, and you don't get gifts for the mother and father because obviously you don't know the gender of the baby. Yeah. But after that, after the gender reveal party, it's kind of accepted that like you go and get after them.
Hey, Masa, can you turn down Austin's mic a little bit? He's cutting out a little bit. So yeah, ichiman hidari. No, yeah, that one. Pull that one down. Yeah, your voice. No. Gyaku. That's too loud. Because I saw the red was cutting out. Because Austin, your voice is just so damn loud. Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, so like these are really, really popular.
Yeah.
Like people will go. I mean, like this is like the most basic version. These get insane.
Yeah. Well, didn't you do it? It wasn't necessarily a party. But you did kind of like a form of that with us, like when your second daughter was born, or not. Well, when you found out the gender, you're like, let's cut the cake.
Yeah. So, what my wife has done for both of our kids,
you can turn it off now.
You know, obviously she's going to the hospital like when she was pregnant.
Yeah.
And you know, I can't go with her because usually she goes when I'm at work.
Yeah.
So she'll go and she'll get the ultrasound. And I mean, you know how having a kid is. It's like you almost never find out on the first ultrasound.
Yeah, right.
It's just not going to happen, right? It usually takes a while, and it's like, it's super random. Like, you know, even if the baby's developed enough, you can tell the gender.
Yeah.
Like with my most recent daughter, her back was turned.
Oh yeah.
And so that's like, all right, well, there's her butt. That's okay. You know? And
Yeah.
so it's kind of a surprise. And then so my wife found out about it. And, for both of our kids, she has made a cake with either strawberry or blueberry on the inside.
Okay.
Strawberry for girl, blueberry for boy.
Yeah, right.
And so I've had strawberry cake twice.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, it was so funny because I remember we were talking about this and you said like,
Yeah.
man, I have a really strong feeling it's a boy.
Yeah.
A really strong feeling it's a boy. It's probably a boy. And then you sent me the video and it's opened up. Oh, it's strawberry. It's a girl.
I was actually surprised.
Yeah.
It's like I just felt like it was gonna be a boy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's so you have these like gender reveal parties and stuff, but then yeah, you know it's funny because when I let's talking about parties in general. When I picked a place to live in the United States with my friends when I was in college,
Yeah.
I picked a place based on if we could host people or not, because I was going it with
deal.
basically my patio se resente. I don't even know how to say that in English anymore. I was gonna rent a place with the intention of having a bunch of people over, so I needed a place that had space, right?
Yeah.
Because it's just something you do in the States.
Well, so like in addition to that, you don't really see this so much with apartments because there's usually not enough room. But when a person has a house in the U.S., there's usually a dedicated party room, right?
So yeah,
like I'll give you an example. If you were to go to my parents' house right now, there is a dining area in the kitchen.
Yeah,
it's kind of like a bar now. Our previous house, we had an actual table to sit down. But you have like a dining area that's like for daily meals.
Yeah.
But then like aside from that, there's like a party room.
Yeah.
Where it's like usually a long table and it's like usually there's like fancier silverware and that's set up. So then when you're gonna host somebody, you have an area for that.
Yeah, you know, so in our house in Germany, we actually had a kitchen area that was similar to like a Japanese LDK, where you have the kitchen behind the mini counter kind of thing, and then you had a dining room area. So we had that. That's where we would eat our meals. And then we had a room with the TV we called the TV room, which was more or less our living room.
Yeah.
But then in between the kitchen and the TV room, we had another, what we call the living room.
Yeah.
But it was very stylish. It had some nice couches in it, and it had the nice fancy china in it.
Yeah.
And when my parents would invite their friends over and they would like do their wine parties, cheese parties, whatever they did. I don't remember. I was 5. They would always go there. And I just remember that room smelled differently than all the other rooms in the house.
Right?
Yeah.
No, totally. It's usually like a fluorescent kind of smell.
Yeah.
Like very, very like elegant.
Yeah. So now when I think about it, it probably smelled of like leather a little bit, just because we had like a leather couch in there and stuff. But I just remember being like, this room smells funny. I'm going to go to the other room, you know? But yeah, it's just, that was the room I knew not to go in when my parents had friends over.
Allowed in there as a kid.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So like hosting parties is a big deal. I was holding off bringing this up because I was going to see if you were going to bring it up because you mentioned moving.
And I did.
But something that people will do when you move is a housewarming party.
Yeah, right.
So there's 2 kinds of housewarming parties. There's the housewarming party of friends where you invite friends over to your new place. But there's another thing that maybe you don't see a whole lot these days, but it was more popular like 30 years ago. Yeah, before that was neighborhood or neighbors coming over and like welcoming you to the neighborhood, right? And so like it's kind of funny because I feel like Japan is probably more known for being social than the U.S. At least I would say that.
Okay.
Like for like social gatherings. But I feel like America has more like parties.
Yeah, so I would say Japanese people in Japan, you're very polite and you're kind on the outside.
Yeah.
You're very private on the inside.
Yeah.
Whereas like in the States, people are friendly, but they invite, it's more intimate, I feel. You know?
Yeah, that's a good word.
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny because I so I have a student who lives in Canada now.
Yeah.
And he recently moved there, and he's like, I don't know what to do with my neighbors. What do I do with my neighbors? And it was really funny because in Japan, when we moved to a new place, Natsumi's parents, like basically with the understanding that we were going to go to the neighbors and introduce ourselves.
Yeah.
She gave us towels.
To give to the neighbors?
Yeah, which is so weird. But it's funny because then there was this construction company that was doing construction nearby that wanted to do we apologize for the loud noise. Please forgive us. And they gave us towels too. And it's so weird because I'm thinking, why towels of all things? Because in America, you'd normally...
I don't understand that either.
Yeah, but because in America, normally, you would give like a baked good or something that you made yourself, right?
Yeah.
But it was at that time when I just saw how like opposite Japan and the United States are, because when you go on a trip and you bring souvenirs for people in the States, you bring like a keychain or something that's like you don't consume, but in Japan it's always food.
Yeah.
And then when you're doing like welcoming, saying hi to the neighbors,
then
you give the food in America, then you give the non-consumable in Japan. It's just weird.
But why towel? Of all,
can someone answer that question in the comments, please?
It seems like a really random thing to give somebody.
It goes like, so in our Austin Arthur Friends Banshaku we had yesterday, we talked about how Americans are just not clean, and Japanese people tend to be more clean, wash their hands more. They need more towels, maybe.
Yeah,
I have no idea. But it's funny because it's like when you move into a new place, the proper thing to do. It is a proper thing to do, and this is kind of the proper thing to do if you're a little bit more affluent, I would say, is you go to your neighbor's house, you introduce yourself, you bring something that you made or your wife made, something like my mom would always bring cookies.
Yeah.
And then you would formally invite them to your house for dinner.
Yeah.
So we never did kind of like the housewarming party for the neighbors, but it was almost like hey, why don't you come over for dinner? Let's talk. And you would invite them to your home,
Yeah.
And in Japan, that's like unheard of,
Yeah. Well, I don't know if it's necessarily unheard of, but I think it's like you really won't encounter that unless you're like deep in the countryside and it's a very, very small community.
Yeah, but even so, like, so Natsumi's grandparents live in a pretty, not like super rural area, but a very local area where everyone knows each other. But even then,
you don't see it.
Only family members come over.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah, actually, you know what? Now that I think about it, because the only reason why I kind of brought that up was I was thinking about my host family.
Yeah.
And how we regularly hosted the neighbors for barbecues.
Oh, really? Okay.
While I was there. But the neighbor was an American guy.
Okay.
So it's like he's a very social
he's
person.
The exception.
Yeah, you met Evan.
Oh, it was Evan?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Evan, great.
So, yeah.
I want to invite him to a barbecue at my place.
Evan's fantastic. The guy is just so much fun to be around.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a very social person.
Yeah.
So, like, now that I think about it, it's like, oh, well, he often would make the initiative to go meet somebody.
Yeah.
And so, it makes sense now. But
it's like, it's so funny because...
You should bust out that next bottle.
Yeah. I almost dropped it. Oh my gosh.
That would have been sad.
It would have, yeah. This
immediately ended. We can't do the show without alcohol.
Seriously, guys. If you guys have any recommended alcohol or recommended Nihonshu, we have a form that you can submit it to send to us. So you can just find it in the description of this video podcast, whatever. But yeah, this is Hakkai-san Tokubetsu Honjozo, which means
very swanky and sophisticated sake from the 7-Eleven.
7-Eleven
from France.
French.
French.
Yeah, but actually, it is actually pretty nice because this is from Niigata, So Hakkai-san is
hold on.
Hakkai-san is the sake you drink when you want to feel fancy. That's what it is. There you go.
And call it Hakkai-san. There's some high class.
Well, a lot of it is really expensive too. But yeah, a lot of people are gonna be angry at us because we didn't wash out our cups, but whatever.
I am gonna enjoy this in a few minutes.
Yeah, you're right. Well, it's Mujozo because it's got the distillers alcohol in it. It's
Yeah,
gonna get you.
no, I think I will like this.
Yeah.
But that previous sake was so sweet.
Yeah.
Doing that immediate like gear shift into this is I like I said, in about like 2 or 3 minutes I'll enjoy this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, Hakkai-san you can't go wrong with Hakkai-san unless you're me, because even though my wife is from Niigata, I've said many times I don't like sake from Niigata.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, everyone. But yeah, so one thing though that is just kind of interesting is, and this is also, I think, a uniquely American thing.
Okay.
Where when you hang out with your friends or you want to spend time with people, most of the time you'll invite them to your house.
Yes.
And in Japan, you go to like an izakaya or a restaurant together.
Yeah, or you go to like a public area, like a park or something.
Yeah, and to be fair, in Europe, you do that too. But
which one?
Oh, sorry, you go out to a public place or to a restaurant. But here's the thing though. Here's the thing. They don't have those crappy time limits on them. So you can be there for 5 hours and no one cares. Like there have been many times when I've gone with my dad to Germany and we spend time with his friends and we're sitting down for like 4 hours, just getting drinks, talking and stuff. Whereas in Japan, you got 90 minutes,
That's it.
120 minutes.
Yep.
No, you hold that. Okay, everything is regimented. Okay, time up.
Yeah. No, but seriously, like,
could you imagine? Sorry. Could you imagine like an izakaya person coming by and like, "Sumimasen, get the fuck out."
Yeah. You know, I'm sure, like, actually Americans would think that's pretty fun.
They should have a cowboy izakaya where you do that.
Get the hell out of my restaurant.
Dude, wouldn't well, I'm not sure if a cowboy izakaya would work for American tourists, but I think that would be a great idea for restaurants, like a cowboy themed.
You know, they don't necessarily have this, but when I first moved here to Kamata, or in Tokyo, I lived in Kamata, which is like Otaku. It's like the most southern train station in Tokyo, and there's so if you leave Kamata Station and I think the western side, and cross the street, there's like a little alleyway, and there's a cowboy izakaya. Well, it's more like a
you told me about this.
Izakaya.
Yeah.
Where it's like they play country music 24/7, and like they got like cowboy hats and it's all like Western themed. Yeah. And that was my first experience at an izakaya in Japan.
Oh, really? The cowboy
Well,
thing
I mean, like I went to izakaya when I was
as an adult, as an adult.
Yeah. So like when I originally came here on the JET program, the teachers at that school brought me to that izakaya for some reason. I guess there's like, American cowboy.
Yeah, right.
And I had a blast, man. I loved that place.
Yeah,
and
man.
so I actually feel like tourists would really like it.
Yeah, you know, I think so. It depends on the type of tourist, because we should just do an episode on tourists in Japan. That'd be awesome. Because you have like the anime nerds. You have the traditional Japanese nerds that want the authentic experience that doesn't really exist. And then you have like the people who are just kind of happy-go-lucky. There's like whatever. Those people I think would really like that.
You know, we really should do an episode on tourism here in Japan, because it's.
I'm going to put it on the idea list.
Do it right now.
Yeah. I must say, you don't need to do anything. I'm just going to put this on the list.
But it's like, we're getting way off topic.
Yeah, it's okay.
But I just want to finish my thought. It's weird how it's evolved over the past like 3 decades.
I would say devolved, but
well, yeah, because it's like, I think in the 90s, it was basically anime nerds coming to Japan. Like I mean, I didn't go to Japan in the 90s, but if I were to guess, I think like 80% of the people coming over as tourists, not to move here, but as tourists to Japan, it was because of like some connection to anime or pop culture. And then I think once we shifted to the 2000s, I think there was more of the happy-go-lucky, like, I'm just here to party and have fun.
Yeah.
Japan's a really cool place, and I want to experience that. And now I think after COVID, we're shifting into the Japanophile era back again.
Okay.
Like, I feel like a lot of people coming here are like really hardcore Japanophiles.
So I disagree with you.
Okay.
But we should save this for another topic, because we can talk about this a lot. If you guys want to hear us talk about tourists, That was a nice Freudian slip right there.
Maybe they'll put clips of with the what's the Sansaito guys.
The Sansaito guys.
See, these gaijin hate tourists too.
Oh my gosh, yeah. I gotta tell you, man. Recently, I've been looking at Japanese X, Twitter, and like all the anti-foreigner sentiment. I understand it,
Yeah,
it just makes me sad. But anyways,
we could talk about
this. We should talk about that.
Anyways, parties. So okay, so here's the thing about parties. I was just thinking, like, while you were talking, instead of listening to you, I was thinking about what I wanted to say.
I mean, that's what most people do. It's okay, man.
But I was thinking about how many different kinds of parties, like I would say, like the average family has in the U.S. throughout the year that don't involve family.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing, like I think when it comes to family, like Japan and America are kind of the same in that aspect, where it's like Japan invites family members over to their house all the time.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So that doesn't count. I'm talking about inviting friends or like people more distant than close family, right? It could be distant relatives, but not like I'm inviting my dad over, And so what screams on the top of my head is New Year's.
New Year's?
New Year's is never with family.
Yeah, right.
It's always just a big party of like people coming to your house.
Yeah, it's so funny because like, New Year's is the holiday that you spend with friends. So a lot of people go out and go to a party, or like if you have the best view of the fireworks at your house, you'll invite everyone over and you'll watch them together.
Yeah, like New Year's house parties. Another one would be like Labor Day.
Labor Day, yeah.
Yeah, you usually have like a big Labor Day barbecue.
Yeah.
Usually family comes to that too, but you kind of just invite everybody.
Yeah, 4th of July too.
Yeah, 4th of July. What else can you think of? Like parties that you would do every year.
Well, no, I don't know about parties.
Birthday parties.
Birthday parties, yeah. You invite friends over for birthday parties for sure. No, so it depends. I wouldn't say like you do this every year.
Yeah.
But especially when you're like a young, newly married couple, and this is kind of a stereotype that you see on TV too, is people will have like a food tasting party or something like that, or like a wine tasting party. Wine and cheese party, and people are pretending they know a lot more than they do for the social approval of other people. But I think for a lot of people, well, especially when you're younger, you just invite people over. But even when you're adults and you have kids, it's not uncommon to invite friends who have kids that are that you're friendly with over to your house.
Not only would I say it's not uncommon, I think it's something that happens really frequently in the U.S. is inviting people over like on weekdays, like almost every week. Like, you especially see this with like housewives.
Yeah.
Well, they'll invite somebody over, or like dads will invite their friend over to come hang out in the garage. Yeah, like that kind of thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I think so. When I think about when I was a kid, right? So when I think about it compared to now, so we live in a house that's fairly spacious. It's more spacious than like a mansion in Japan, but it's not as spacious as most houses because we're still renting, But in America, when I would go play with my friends, invariably I would always go to their house.
Oh,
almost
without question.
90% of the time.
No. Same.
Whereas here, when my kids play with their friends, they almost always play outside. If they live really close, maybe they'll go to their house. But most of the time, we'll go someplace outside or to like an indoor play area, Yeah. And a lot of people, they say that because houses are so much smaller here. And I think that plays part of it. But I think people are mainly like embarrassed, or they don't want to show their real selves or something like that.
I might say a controversial thing here. There's a stereotype that Japanese houses are like really clean and orderly, and I think that is just complete bullshit.
Yeah.
And I think most people are just actual slobs.
Yeah.
And their house looks dirty.
Yeah.
And so they don't want to invite people over because their house is dirty.
I can see you're really liking the sake right now, man.
Yeah.
No, but it's true.
But you know what I mean? It's like, look, I'm just going to rip off the Band-Aid. I think, you know what? Look, I'll even make myself a little vulnerable because I just insulted everybody.
The country.
I have that problem too.
Yeah, my house too.
You know,
yeah.
my house is kind of a mess, and it's like I get it. It's like not wanting to invite people over. Like I've never had people over at my house.
You really?
Yeah, my current place, I've never invited people over.
I see.
And yeah, it's I probably could clean up a little bit.
I
I
like this. I don't know if I should say this. I'm just going to say it anyways. I like inviting people over to my house because that's how I can guarantee my house gets cleaned. So
fair.
yeah, and so it's like I come home and it's like, man, this house is so clean. Oh yeah, didn't this guy come over? Oh yeah, okay, yeah, I see why.
Yeah.
But it's I feel like you said, one thing that people don't understand, like that was really hard for me to understand, or I think a lot of Americans won't understand, is in Japan there are no basements. Like if you grew up in an apartment, it's fine, but
we don't have any basements in Seattle either for the same reason.
really?
Yeah.
The house I stayed in had a basement.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's weird. Yeah,
You didn't have a basement?
No.
Do you have an attic?
Yes.
Okay.
But the reason why you don't have basements is because it's like earthquakes. It's not safe.
Oh, okay. Oh,
Right.
well, that makes sense.
So
Okay.
it's like that's why Japan doesn't have basements either.
Oh, really? Okay. But most places don't have attics either.
That I don't understand.
Yeah. Yeah, because like so with the houses that I grew up in my grandparents' house, they had their house, which was also larger, but then they had a basement and then they had an attic where you just stuff the stuff you don't need anymore.
No,
Like, I'll think about it later.
That's so I don't understand why houses don't have that here because that like how many times have you been inside a house here in Japan?
Yeah.
Whether yours or somebody else's, and they have like a dedicated room that no one's supposed to see that just has a lot of just random shit inside that room.
Yeah, that's
Every house.
Yeah.
Right? Let's just be honest. There's every house in Japan has that room where the crap is stuffed into it and the doors are just always closed, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like why can't we just have an attic so people don't have to do that and you just put all your stuff up there?
Yeah. So Masa, I have a question for you. Do you know why there are no attics in Japan? Do you know what an attic is? So attics はなんか最上階の上にあるなんか屋根の下のなんか収納のためのスペースっていうのがなんかアメリカのお家に何でもあるんだけど、屋根の裏にあるなんか収納専用のスペースがあるんだけど。So in Japan though, you don't really have that.
No.
Though, right? Sometimes. But in most houses you don't. Do you know why you don't have that?
Okay. Yeah, it's really an odd question because it just doesn't make sense. Like, especially because Japan's like really into like little closeted spaces and everything. It just makes sense that attic.
Yeah.
Actually, now that I think about it, you know Tom.
Yeah, Tom. Yeah.
So
is he the Irish guy?
No, it was Scottish.
Scottish. Sorry,
Oh.
I always do that.
Yeah. So his wife and they just had a baby.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah. Congratulations.
Yeah. So
did they do a gender reveal party?
I think they did.
Okay.
But they just bought a house over the summer.
Yeah.
And their house is brand new. It was built this year. And I think it's more of like a Western style.
Yeah.
And it has an attic.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
well, there you go. They do exist.
But it is a Western style house.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just funny how like, I feel like, one thing that's also interesting when you talk about parties and stuff is when I notice when I go to Japanese people's houses here, the way that I'm welcomed is completely different because in the States, when your friend or someone you know comes to your house for the first time, what's the first thing you do?
Get them a drink.
And then, do you do anything else?
Sit down.
Oh, really? Because what we did is we always invariably showed them around the house. Like the rooms and stuff.
Sorry, I misunderstood. I thought this was somebody that you already were familiar with.
Oh, no, this is someone who's come to your house for the first time.
It's the very first time.
Yeah.
Yeah. You do a house tour.
Yeah, right. And so you're like, okay, here's the bathroom, here's the kitchen, here's the thing. And you kind of show your whole, if there's a room you don't want to show, you don't have to show it. But you go on and you show them the place saying, this is your house, you can do what you want.
Yep.
Whereas in Japan, it's like, I am only allowed to be in the room that they are in with me.
Yeah.
And I do not ask questions.
Yeah. Well, no, even I would carry that a step further because one of the things in America, it's like we have the saying "mi casa su casa," which is Spanish,
Su casa,
like, my castle is your castle, right? And in American culture, the guest is expected to go get their own drinks and whatever they want from the kitchen.
Yeah, right.
It's like, I'll give you the first round of whatever, and then after that, help yourself.
Yeah. It's funny because in Japanese, the way that, so in English, you would say make yourself at home, right?
Yeah.
Which means treat this like your own house.
Yeah.
But in Japanese, what you say is like go yukkuri, right? Which means relax.
Yeah.
So like it's very different because in America, like my wife too, no, not my wife, my mom, when my wife first like came to our house and stuff, my mom really wanted to encourage her to be more proactive.
Yes.
So
yes. Oh my God.
do you have the same thing?
No, I want to talk about this because
so-
I had the same problem with my wife. Like
Well,
when we go.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's very much.
Yeah.
It's very much like fixed now. But in the beginning, she did not want to impose, and my mom would see that she was like thirsty or she was like needed something. But my mom wanted to like train her in the mikase su casa thing.
Yeah.
But she said, "Listen, Natsumi, you don't have to wait. If you want some water, there's the fridge. You can just go there."
Yeah.
It's like, can I really go? Can I look inside your fridge?
Yeah.
That's so personal.
It's so funny because so like we have this problem. I shouldn't say it's not a problem.
It's a cultural difference.
My wife's very sensitive about this.
It's a cultural difference.
But when we go to my sister's house, my sister has Chelsea has a massive house.
Yeah, it's like a ranch house, right?
It is like a hotel.
Okay, wow.
I can't even compare it to a house because like they have like something like 8 bedrooms or something like that. It's enormous.
Okay.
It's a 3-story, just gigantic house.
Man.
And their kitchen is like a little intimidating.
Yeah.
Because you have this like really fancy refrigerator. You have just a million cupboards. It looks like it's like built to like feed a village. And then you have a full walk-in pantry.
Wow, yeah. I love this.
Behind the kitchen that also has a giant refrigerator and just like
There's a fridge in the pantry?
Yes. Her house is big.
Okay.
So anyways, so like, look, I get a little intimidated sometimes when I go into my sister's kitchen also because it's just a big kitchen. And it's like, oh, okay, wow, I don't know what to do here.
Yeah.
But I always feel bad when we go to visit because, of course, Chelsea, like she'll do stuff for you, obviously.
Yeah.
Like, if you request something, she'll make it or prepare it. But she is also like, hey, whatever you want, just take it.
Yeah.
It's fine, right? And I always feel bad for Yui because like she always feels like really self-conscious about just going in and taking something.
Yeah.
And for me, it's like I eventually over a couple of days, like I get used to it and I just grab whatever I want. But it's like, I always feel like Yui's always like hungry or, wants something.
Yeah.
She'll just never say anything.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh man, I feel bad.
Yeah. That's the hospitality difference right there,
Yeah. It's so weird because I think Japanese people really like the idea of servicing somebody.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like that idea of like I am doing a kind gesture. I'm trying to really like elevate your status.
Yeah.
Right. I'm putting myself here and I'm treating you here. And it's funny because if you don't do that here in Japan, I think it's kind of seen as like a little insulting.
Yeah.
Or it's maybe too casual.
Yeah.
Maybe it's not insulting, but it's too casual.
Yeah.
Right? It's too informal. But it's so funny because in America, it's the opposite.
Yeah.
Right? If you're like really waiting and doting on somebody.
That makes you feel uncomfortable.
Dude, can you just like chill?
Yeah.
Just back off for a little bit. I'm fine.
Yeah.
But if you let somebody like, hey, just grab whatever you want, then it's like really comfortable.
I know. Yeah, and that's the thing. It's like that's why it's like so hard to get acclimated. And I think at first a lot of Japanese people when they go to America, they're like, man, this place is so free and loose and you can do whatever you want. It's wonderful, which is true. Yeah. But it is fundamentally opposite to what's here, which makes it difficult the deeper you get.
Yeah.
But speaking of that, though, speaking of these cultural differences, in the next episode, we wanted to talk about how we want to raise our kids.
Like American values, right?
Yeah,
What
as-
the American values.
Yeah,
are.
as like multicultural kids and how we want them to think about their identity
Yeah.
and stuff. Because
Yeah.
and that's a lot of what I want to talk about. I think it might go into this topic a little bit. So, but we're just gonna cut the camera and then we're gonna start we're gonna start over again. But yeah, so if you guys have a recommendation other than this Hakkai-san, remember you can send us a sake. The link is in the description here. And yeah, if you have any other topics or something you heard about today that you want to know more about, please leave us a comment. And I won't read them, but Austin will because he's a nice guy.
That's a lot of pressure to put on me.
So if
I do read the comments though.
yeah, so if there's a comment and there's a response to it, it's Austin. Now I'm gonna respond.
No,
It would be really rude to say it to you.
It definitely is. Like
Yeah.
I think I get like as far as like negative stuff that's said about our channel, it's like 90% geared like pointed at me.
Yeah,
Like,
you know what?
usually I'll say something be like, yeah, Austin just hates Japan. Like,
Austin loves Japan so much. So it's kind of like the Americans that rag on America so much. Like I remember people I know, I always said like, man, if you hate America so much, why don't you leave? And they're like, no, I love America. That's why I say nothing but crap about it all the time.
you know, it's frustrating because like I say a lot of nice things about Japan,
Yeah.
but I'm also really, really critical about specific things.
That's because you live here. You know?
Yeah.
All right, man. Well, I'll talk to you next time.
Yeah. Bye.